Xin kính chào quý vị và chúng tôi xin được nói bằng tiếng Anh theo yêu cầu ban tổ chức. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start my story, I thank you to Mr. Wabika and all the youth who invited me alone to be here. I would also like to thank you all guests, especially friends from other countries present here too. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a great honor for me to stand in front of you on this special event to bring back some memory about the Vietnam War, which was 50 years ago. Even though the wars were over in Vietnam, but it still had a lot of story to tell and a lot of experience to learn from. I understand that all of us still suffer from losing our country, and we hate the communist regime. They have treated our people like a slave. The national communist war in Vietnam, in general, can be seen as the war between two forces, the good and the evil, with many subjective and objective factors as well as the circumstances of history. The evil force won 50 years of rule in Vietnam, causing disastrous consequences that are visible today. Widespread corruption, leaders from the top to bottom are rich, people are poor. In society, we are social evils such as prostitution, drug gambling, state-run education, and religion. The prosperity that the Communist Party of Vietnam promotes short of fake prosperity. Many reasons made South Vietnam collapse and fall under the Communist hand. Even our South Vietnamese force from bravely since 1954, when the Geneva peace talk divided our country into two parts, the North and the South. Even the South Vietnamese force were fighting bravely and sacrificed a lot of casualties, but we could not win the war. Just because the American government just was strong enough to defend the South, and they never turned the green light for us to counterattack to the North. While Russia and China support the communists in the North with the full equipment and invade the South. Unfortunately, the Republic of Vietnam, when the Americans reached agreement on the communists and China and abandoned Vietnam in 1972, the Army had to fight alone against the communists. The communist invasion without any assistance from the United States and Uni. The Army fought bravely to recapture ancient citadel of Quang Tri. Even though the Marine and the Airborne had shed so much blood, then the Battle of Bình Long of the 5th Infantry Division, the Airborne Force Ranger, and the regional forces drove the communists out there. And then, very brave, in the Second War, we defeat communists in the Kong Tum. And when the communists reached the peace talk in 1973, the Americans cut off all the Vietnam equipment. No more airplane, no more gasoline, no more ammunition. And people still fight very bravely. I can tell you an example. When we fought the 5th Communist Division in my district, some people in the outpost, they fought with the communists, they used a human wave to overrun. These outpost chiefs called me and tell me to shoot artillery over their head. They said sooner or later they will die, but they will fight to the death to kill more the communists. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true story about the war in Vietnam. Even we fought very hard, but we could not win the war. Besides that, we got the betrayal of the media. They always lie about the Vietnam War. The media, the CBS, all over the media, they can come to our folks to get free information. But they never reach on the communist side to get information. All the information they get, the communist, the fake and the propaganda. So always they paint the bad image of the Vietnam War in front of the world. Then, during the accident in 1968, when Lieutenant William Kelly made a mistake, killed a lot of Vietnamese, the peasants and the people in the accident, and the whole world made a big noise. But nobody mentioned about the Tet Offensive, the community killed thousands and thousands of people in the waves. They cut their head, they shoot them, they bury them alive. And beside that, the communists, they motor out the artillery to the population area to kill the people. But no media, nobody talking about that. One of the worst thing, they always telling lie in the last minute of the Vietnam War. They always tell us we lose every province after province to the communists, but as a matter of fact, we're still there, we still fight the war. So that the betrayal of all the media to the public. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we are proud of the young people who have taken responsibility of fighting for the freedom, democracy, and human rights for Vietnam. We have nothing to be proud of passing the torch of struggle to the next generation. Thank you very much.